So in this lesson, I'm going to talk about a simple needs analysis, and this is called WIN. So what is a WIN analysis? You may have heard of it before. It comes from the business world. Well, quite simply, in a WIN analysis, you need to ask your learner about certain things. You need to ask them about their wants, their interests, and their needs in English. Okay, very simple, isn't it? Wants, interests, and needs. So, for example, I could sit with my student and I could say, well, what do you want to do in English? And they could tell me, well, I'd really like to improve my fluency because when I have conversations, I don't know the right words to say. I'm very hesitant. I don't speak fluently. I have to stop. And I would like to improve my fluency. And I think I need more practice talking about lots of conversation topics. Now, maybe they also want to watch TV shows in the original language. Maybe they say, I really love watching uh, Game of Thrones and True Detective, and I'd love to watch them in the original language, but I need to watch them in my language, and I could do with some sort of practice. Or perhaps they want to go traveling, and they say to you, well, I'd love to travel, but I'd like to meet people and really have good conversations with these people in the UK or in the US or in Australia or in countries where people speak English. So you find out what they want. And then you ask them about their interests. Now, they don't have to be related to English language learning. And maybe your learner tells you, I love sports. I'm a big fan of football and Formula One. I'm also really interested in technology. I love digital gadgets, especially anything related to Apple. And, I really enjoy cooking. That's one of my hobbies and it helps me relax. So me and my girlfriend, we love going to great restaurants. So I'd like to learn a bit more about cooking. And then, of course, you ask about their needs. Now, their needs may not be really related to their interests or their wants. They may say things like, well, at work, I have to write lots of emails to clients and sometimes my emails are confusing and then I have to write another email to correct what I've just said or to make it clearer. And occasionally I have to go on business trips and give presentations to small groups about our product and I'm not very good at it. And I give the presentation and people look bored and I feel very nervous and I feel very embarrassed. And then sometimes I have to give video calls to customers or clients or people in other departments in other countries. And, sometimes I get nervous and I don't feel that they've understood me correctly. And I'd really like to practice that. So you find what they want, what they're interested in, and what they need. Now, the sweet spot, the really good stuff, is when your student tells you that what they want is also what they need. So in the case of the student we just looked at, they're really interested in fluency and speaking practice, to give them that confidence, to have those video calls, to give them that confidence when they give a presentation. So that's our sweet spot because it combines their wants and their needs. And we can prioritize that when we design our course or we tell our student what we think they should practice and focus on. Now, where do interests come into that? Well, interests are really important because they provide a context and they give you topics. So, for example, when we think about the input, the materials we're going to use, if our learner's really interested in sports and technology and they've got to give presentations, well, maybe we could find some great, let's say, TED Talks from people like in the digital industry, like Steve Jobs gave some great presentations, or Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, these sort of people. And so we could actually get them engaged in the topic, digital technology, and we can analyze some of the language used in presentations. Okay, so if we can combine what the language they need and we can actually use their interests to find materials that will engage them, that will motivate them, and they'll think will be interested in their real life. So that's a WIN analysis. You find out what they want, what they're interested in, and what they need, and you put that all together, you blend it together, and that will give you lots of ideas for creating the outline for your course. And that makes sure that you create engaging and useful lessons for your learners that will go some way towards meeting their actual needs. See you in the next lesson.